Hello everyone. Happy Saturday, good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to you all. I hope everybody is doing well, and thank you guys very much for being here with me. Amy, Towan, Dragonsbane, Andy, good morning, good afternoon. We are starting off in Darnassus because even though I said I was going to, I never flew out here to get the mount. So we are going to get our mount right away. And then we'll go from there. I think we're going back into Stranglethorn today. I honestly haven't logged the character in since the last time we streamed it, which I think was Friday of last week. Because I didn't stream Saturday or Sunday. So I don't really remember what we had going on. We're level 40, which is amazing. We have spent all of our talent points. We are rocking the Sword of the Magistrate. The rest of our gear is questionably bad, but we're about to learn how to wear chain. So that's going to be a big change for us. Alright, so... Did the Doomhowl Druid die? The Tauren Druid? No. No, the Hardcore Druid's still alive. I've just been very obsessed with Sod. That's all. Yeah, our bag inventory, you know, we don't have a lot of spots, but our bags are pretty small. I'm also waiting to 175 to learn all of this stuff. Right now we're at 172. So as soon as I can make some food, we can learn these 3 recipes, get those out of the inventory. I'm carrying a bunch of food, but if I'm doing that, then it must be because I needed it. I have some pieces of mail. The headpiece, like, I don't know if any of this is really great for us. It's more armor, but I don't know if that's... Oh, the gloves will be good at 41. And maybe these are good? I don't know. Sod's been fun to watch. I'm glad. It's been really fun to play. So I'm glad it's enjoyable to watch and play. I think it's because it has that little bit of newness where, like, if you're not familiar with all the Sod classes, then you're often seeing something new. I also really like the progression where we get into new zones more often. We don't get bogged down, like, spending 30 hours in Tanarus. Alright, Hunter Trainer first? Maybe Hunter Trainer? I'd like to train. Aspect of the Pact. We get Mail, Distracting Shot, Hunter's Mark, Volley, Freezing Trap, Raptor Strike 6, and Track Giants. Raptor Strike 6 we definitely want to pull out. There we go. Don't really think I need anything else. Aspect of the Pack will be good when we're in groups. Dante, good afternoon, buddy. Welcome to the stream.
I am honored.
Alright, so this costs 10 gold in Sod. Tiger riding. 10 gold. This is great because the Night Elves have by far the coolest mount in Classic. Their mount is, like, the wolf mount for the orcs is pretty good, but the tiger mount's the best mount. And I basically never get to ride on one because I never play a Night Elf in Classic. Ooh, striped, spotted, or striped. I'm hoping this one is dark. And that's why the icon is dark. I really want like a dark lightsaber. We're gonna do that one. 40 gold for the mount though, so it's not dirt cheap. It's half the price. So in Sod you end up shelling out 50. In regular Classic era you end up shelling out like 90. Talon, what is a giant in WoW? Is that like a lore question? Like, what is a giant? Oh, I see. They have the tigers out. Oh, yeah, yeah. I hope it's this one. I hope that's what we got. Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. What is a giant as far as a mob? You know, like the shore striders that we were fighting in Fairless, where we did the Zap Giants and the Water Elemental quest? Like, those guys are giants. You usually find, like, they're usually sea giants. You find them often, like, along the coast. I don't know that there are a lot of examples in Classic Era of land giants. I think maybe Fosric. Fosric might be a giant in Arathi Highlands. But Fosric is the only one I can really think of that's not like a sea giant. Using this item will bind it to you. Good. I was hoping you'd say that. I mean, that's badass. This is far and away the coolest looking mount in Classic. Like, just in base Classic. The wolf is close. Yep. And the running animation is so fluid, like so smooth. Alright. Where are we going to now? How would I recommend making money for my mounts? If you have any ideas, let me know. I'm really bad at making money in this game. Usually I just have to grind, like grind junk and sell junk. Badlands is a good place to grind. Go kill stuff in Badlands and vendor everything. You know, you can do stuff like skinning. Skinning works depending. It always depends on the economy of your server. So do you play on a server that has a buyer's economy or a seller's economy? If you're on an older server, people have a lot of money to throw around, then you can farm up low-level mats and sell them on the auction house. If the economy is not that great, then that isn't really an option. So it really depends on where you're at. But I'm not the authority on making money. I'm typically broke. I got lucky on this server, and light leather on this server sells for a lot. So I got lucky early on and sold a bunch. And I was given some money. And that's the only reason I have 127 gold right now. Alright, so I had a couple of pieces. I just don't think any of these are worth equipping. I guess these, maybe. We're giving up agility for Stam. Maybe it's worth it? I don't know. They look really stupid, so I'm kind of tempted just to go back to that. The rams are the best. Okay. Okay, let's see. I don't like their running animation as much. I always forget about rams because I often never play a dwarf to level 40. Rams are cool as like a concept, and I really like them as the racial mount for the dwarfs. I think they're awesome, but I don't think their running animation is as smooth. I feel like it's a little bit like stilted, you know, not motion sick stilted. It's not as bad as the chocobos that the blood elves have. It's not as bad as that. But it's not as fluid as the wolves and the cats. I think the wolves and the cats are probably built off the same rig. So their running animation is like the same. It's just so smooth, man. There's no... The horses are so bad, like... I will say the rams, even though they're probably on the same rig, the rams are better than the horses. The horses are like... just bad. WoW horses are bad. Also, like, WoW horses are so narrow. If you have been around or have looked at a real horse from the front where its shoulders are at, or from the back, like, horses in WoW are, for some reason, even though all the humans are like twice normal human size, the horses are tiny. They're these skinny, spindly horses with this weird running animation. And yeah, I feel like the horses have just always been bad. I think they need to totally remake the rig that the horses, like, graft over. Like, they need to redo the running, they need to redo the proportions, like, everything about the horse needs to change. Oh, Jesus. That is Stitches. We're level 40, I don't know, we probably can't solo him, but nor would he kill us in one hit. The raptors bounce too much. Yeah, the raptors are almost worse than the chocobos. They're probably the same rig too, right? Yeah, raptors are bad. I don't know how anybody can stare at like the bouncy nature of the raptors or the chocobos. They're cool mounts. Like, I've had a couple of really cool looking raptors. That's the crappy part. I think they need to redesign those mounts that have that quick trot. Make them have a longer stride. A lot of animals that are like gonna move quick and seem quick, they don't do it because they take lots of little tiny steps. When they get to this size, they move quick because they're taking these longer strides that are very powerful. And I think the land strider, the chocobo should be taking like long, fluid strides. The horses, kind of the same thing. They need to make the strides more like this. This is a nice, long, fluid stride. And they need to achieve something more like this for all the rest of the mounts. And then they'd actually be visually appealing to be on the back of one. Not that it matters, you know, in retail that's why you just fly. You fly around because flying looks good, flying feels good. Whereas the ground mounts never really did, for the most part. Okay, we got lots of stuff to do. Unfortunately, lots of it is in the southern part, or the midsection. So what do we want to do first? Let's go after the Fang of Bagthera. We could probably do that. Oh, we can do Sindal. Let's do both of these. Let's do Sindal, and then we'll go after Bagthera. And we'll just see if we can kind of clear the quest from north to south. Like, heading south, we'll try to do as much as we can. And get back to Booty Bay. Guild Wars 2 has better mount animations than, like, anything in WoW. For the ground mounts, like, Guild Wars 2 ground mounts are, like, incredible ground mounts. And that's what WoW should look at for, like, what a ground mount should be like. Because, like, and they don't even necessarily need abilities. Like, the Guild Wars 2 mounts had, like, abilities baked into them and stuff, but just how kind of, like, fluid they were, the way the movement felt, the way the mounting felt, or, like, the mounting and dismounting. They really need to, like, look at that, and that's what makes ground mounts enjoyable, is when they're built more like Guild Wars 2 mounts. Are you the only one that thinks Melee Hunter is stupid? Yes, you might be. In this chat, you might be. You're probably not the only person that thinks that, like, overall. And then aren't you just playing a warrior? No, not at all. Like, it's really easy to understand if you don't give into just that visceral instinct that says, like, I hate this. It's really easy to understand that they're obviously fundamentally different. The biggest thing you could just easily point to without having to have a single brain cell to rub together is the fact that the hunter uses mana and the warrior has rage. So, like, right away, the biggest ways that classes can be different is their resources. So, like, any cursory examination of the actual evidence outside of your little emotional pocket of rage would reveal that they're drastically different and that you just haven't given them a chance. So give them a chance. Or don't. But if you're not gonna give it a chance and, like, accept obvious reality, like, no one's gonna be on your side. You know what I mean?
What can I do for you? Have a good one. See you around.
And I'm especially not gonna be on your side because this is the most fun spec I've played in WoW. Like, this is, like, my favorite spec. I'm so I'm so happy that this spec exists. I don't have to be condescending. Someone honestly and accurately explaining to you why you're wrong and trying to help you change, that doesn't have to just be condescending. Like, that could be someone actually trying to help you think about things a different way so you don't come off as an ignorant asshole somewhere else. And maybe you should think about people more like that. Instead of, like, when someone counters your non-argument, like, don't think this person's being condescending. Like, actually think about your argument. Think about how you got yourself into that situation, and maybe fucking change. And stop blaming everybody else. That's all, man. Sorry, but yeah. That's it. Jacob, good afternoon, buddy. Welcome to the stream. Thanks for being here. I appreciate it. Snickle Fritz, happy Saturday to you as well. Thanks for stopping by. Carnifexia, you got banned from Guild Wars 2? Oh my god, you must have been doing something. I don't even know if I want you. I don't even know if I want you in Classic WoW, because if you got banned from Guild Wars 2, you must have been doing something pretty naughty. Like, I don't know if I want your naughty shenanigans coming to my game. So, like, I don't even know if I should tell you what version's popping off. I don't know. Security? Now you're a security risk? I don't know. I don't know. Maybe it's time we go our separate ways. I've had a few too many security breaches going on recently. I don't know if I can risk another one. I don't really know, like, what version would you guys say is popping off right now? I don't really know. I honestly feel like Classic is just, like, maybe it's in a little bit of a lull, where people are just spread out doing whatever they enjoy most, you know? I don't know if, like, one version is necessarily popping off over anything else right now. A couple months ago, I obviously would have said Anniversary Realms because they were newer, but now the Anniversary Realms have become the TBC waiting room. So, like, once you have the moniker of TBC waiting room, I'm not sure if you can be considered popping off anymore, even if lots of people are still obviously very active. I don't know. I've been having a lot of fun in SOD. SOD's in a really great place. Lots of new specs to explore, lots of cool stuff to learn. That's where I've been having a fun time when it comes to playing WoW. Yeah, you were under the impression that SOD died out. So was I. For a long time, I was under the exact same impression. And then I started, like, playing it, and I was like, oh, this is far from dead. It's very, very active. The good thing is there aren't a lot of SOD servers, so everyone's kind of, like, playing in the same place. That helps out a lot, obviously. Oh, I forgot. Last time we picked up this new ability, Wyvern Strike. And this is, like, our big new bottom of the talent row ability that we picked up. Very cool. Okay, we're looking for the named Panther. Typically he's right around here somewhere. I always see him walking around when I don't need him. Today I need him and he's nowhere. Getting Monkey's stance up would be good. Track beasts. Yes, that's a very good idea. This might be the only time I use it. I'm, again, with the, like, I'm aggroing these guys, and when I want to find these guys, I can never find them. And now that I don't want them, now they're all over the place. Track beasts. You would think that would be somewhere, like, in Mastery. Maybe Survival. Hidden track beasts. There we go. Okay, so he's not up around us right now. Oh, does track beast track people when they're in stealth, too? Because I didn't think it did that. Yeah, this might work. If we zoom in a little bit, that might be better. Yeah, it's tracking this guy on track beast, even though he's technically in stealth. So that's interesting. It's kind of hard to recommend a version of WoW to anyone, right? Yeah. It's kind of hard to recommend a version right now to somebody who's not currently playing, especially if you're new or if you're, like, returning. If you're new, I would say just go play on the Anniversary Realms for a bit. If you're returning to WoW, then I don't know. I guess I would have to know, like, where you're returning from. What was the last version you actually played and enjoyed? Guy is like nowhere to be found today. Maybe I should mount up. My motivation problem right now is that for Classic era, like for Anniversary realms, I know I'm not going to raid. I don't want to raid in Classic era Classic. I have zero ambition to raid. I just have to be honest with myself. And so it's hard to like put a lot of time into those characters because I know that they're going to get the 60 and then they're probably going to wait. They're probably going to get some gear from 5-man stuff and then they're going to wait until TBC opens up. And with that in mind, it's really hard to like devote a bunch of time to them, even if I'm having fun on the class, because I don't have any endgame goals. I think if you want to play Classic era and you want to have some endgame goals, that's why I'm playing SOD. Because they've kept the early raids evergreen in a way that when you hit level 60, you get some gear, you're still going to be able to do Molten Core. Like, people with lots of gear are still doing Molten Core, so there's still groups going out because of how they handle the endgame currency in SOD. And I've heard that the pugging scene for raids is probably the best it's ever been anywhere in SOD. So if you want to get to 60 and you want to get some gear and you want to pug some raids, SOD is probably the place to do that in Classic era. More so than thinking you're gonna like do a 300-hour leveling journey, 50 hours of getting 5-man loot, and then after 400 hours then maybe you'll raid in Classic era. Like, it's probably gonna be easier just to play SOD and probably more enjoyable too. I'm looking forward to doing TBC endgame as well. So in the meantime, I'm going to try to enjoy some SOD endgame. Maybe that'll carry me over till TBC comes out. Or maybe Mist of Pandaria will come out, maybe that'll be interesting, but yeah, I don't know. We have no word on like really when we can expect Mist. Except that it's going to be sometime in the summer. Which probably means August 31st, which is a long time away. Even though we're right here, let's run back and let's turn this in. Just to get it turned in. Yeah, if you want to play something that feels classic and you want to do endgame, then SOD is probably your best bet. For TBC, I'm gonna have to go Alliance this time. Because I have my warrior. I plan on taking my warrior through the Dark Portal, like my human warrior. On the Anniversary realm, who's like chilling at level 50 right now. I'm gonna take them through the Dark Portal, so I think we're gonna play a Draenei Shaman just to have like something to level when TBC drops. But I think most of my effort is gonna be spent on the human warrior. What I'm not gonna do in TBC this time is I'm not gonna level a bunch of characters. Like, we're gonna have our main character that's gonna do everything. We're gonna have like a Draenei to be like our side character, like, and that's it. I'm not gonna level a bunch of characters, and I've leveled enough characters, you know. I've done this. This will be my third time through TBC. So my only goal this time is to raid. Like, that's my goal in TBC this time. I want to get geared up. I want to raid. Because the leveling stuff and like almost getting into raids, I've almost got into TBC raids twice. and then Wrath was coming out, so people just weren't interested anymore. So this time all my focus has to be on getting geared up and getting into endgame content. Because I definitely don't want to have to wait 5 years to try it again for the 4th time, you know? How are raid pugs in TBC? We don't know. You know, right now we don't know. It often depends on like the community. So we'll find out when we get there. I've never been able to partake. 2 different times I've gotten like all of my bold set and almost everything I needed to get into raids, and then like people stopped raiding TBC. And that's happened to me twice. So I have no idea what that'll be like. I'm gonna find a raiding guild. That's what I'm gonna do. I am gonna just find a raiding guild that has times that I don't hate. And I am just going to be a person in a raiding guild who gets on and raids. That's my plan. If that means I have to fill out an application, then so be it. At this point, I don't care. I'll fill out the app. I'll link them to some of the raid videos that I have on the channel of like some of the Wrath raids that I did. And we'll see. Yeah, I may stream raids. I may not. It depends on how it is. Like if I can be in a raid and I don't have to be active on comms and I'm just doing DPS and I'm not getting killed, then I can stream. If it's a type of group where like I have to be on comms and I for some reason have to be active in comms and everyone's in comms, I'm not going to stream that because I don't want to blast people's Discord all over streams, and I don't want to have to worry about separating my audio between the stream and the Discord. It's too much of a pain in the ass. So we'll see. Is TBC the best version of WoW? I mean, some people would say so. I think that TBC is probably the best version of classic WoW. I really enjoy what TBC brings to the table. But then again, I've really been enjoying SOD. So, you know, now I don't know. But it is definitely like one of my favorite versions. Alright, so what are we looking for here? We're looking for Tusk, we're looking for fetishes. Okay. We should be able to do this. Got monkey stance on, let's eat some buff food. Oh my dear God. Yeah. Okay. I think we're probably gonna feign death here. Just a feeling I have that eventually we're gonna have to feign death here. Well, I guess let's see how many of them we can kill because, you know, we're killing. Oh, we got some help. Oh, look at that. We're gonna live. Very surprising. I thought we were dead for sure. The version that had the Lich King was the best? Okay, like, Lich King was pretty good. I don't know, though. Lich King is when some things started to change, but I really had a lot of fun in Lich King. Some of the best times I had in the game were during Lich King, because Lich King was probably when I raided the most. It was probably when we were raiding like 3 days a week. We cleared every raid. Even when the raids weren't relevant, we would do alt runs, we would take new people through, and we cleared every raid on Heroic every week. You know, while pushing hard modes and whatnot, when they put the hard modes and stuff into Ulduar. Like, 10-man Ulduar hard modes were some of the funnest times I've ever had in video games. But most of that was because we just had a great group of people that I really enjoyed playing with. They were, like, solid human beings. There was never any drama in the raid group. It was like perfect conditions for raiding. No drama, mature people. And so yeah, so like replicating that would probably be really hard. And I'm not sure if I'd want to go through like a third Lich King release. Since, you know, we've done it twice now. Twice might be enough. Legion was good by retail standards. For a retail expansion, Legion was really good. Legion was also... that was like the end of me raiding though. Thanks to the artifact weapon and the infinite AP grinds. So systems-wise, Legion is when it started to get to its worst. Where you had to clear your entire world map every day of all the world quests to get all of your AP, to make sure you were leveling up your weapon, so you were on par with the rest of your raid team. Like, Legion took WoW from being a game where, like, if you wanted to, you could log in a few times a week and you could still raid, to being a game that if you didn't get on and play for an hour and a half, 2 hours every single day, you weren't going to be as relevant as other people in your raid group who were able to do that. And I was a raid logger. I would just log on a little bit to do like some alchemy. I would make sure I had what I needed for raid. And besides that, I logged on for raid. And like by Legion, you couldn't do that anymore. And that did not work with my life at the time or with how much time I wanted to spend in games. So on the one hand, Legion was a really fun expansion that I wish I had played more of to see the Order Hall stories. On the other hand, at the time, it just like kind of ruined my enjoyment of the game. If I got Legion now, like the way I play the game now, I would love Legion now because I would love to do all the Order Hall stories and all the classes and all that. Like the way I played the game back then, it ruined the way I played the game back then. So it's funny because on the one hand, I can acknowledge like Legion was a really good expansion for like the storytelling, the art, the zones, the music, like everything about it was top notch. But it also kind of ruined the game for me. It ruined the game for me, and like WoW, like it never came back for me. Like I never got back to where I was with it, and I probably never will. Yeah, Legion had class halls. Legion had the Mage Tower. Legion had the Nightborn City, like doing the quest in the Nightborn City. Those quests were amazing, like such a good storyline to unlock the race. Top tier content. Reading the Suramar questline, that was the first time in my history with WoW that I had bothered to read the quest. So questing in Suramar, that was it. That was the first time I said I'm going to do these Suramar quests, I'm going to get this race unlocked, but I'm going to read all these quests. And the writing and like the storytelling in Suramar was so freaking good. And I'll kind of never forgive it because it gave me this incorrect idea of how good the quest writing is in the game. I thought, man, this is what quests are like? These quests are amazing. And then, of course, I continued to live my life and we got into Classic and I started to read all the quests. And then I realized that no, the Suramar quests were a notch above, many notches above any other quest chain that's been written in the game. So yeah, so that's, you know, one of the reasons why Legion was awesome. I missed a chest? No, impossible. Yeah, I probably did. I don't see one in here, though. These guys are, like, just weirdly hanging out. It's like they're waiting for me just to come kill them, right? Just weirdly hanging out and watching me, and I really don't appreciate it. It's behind me? It was behind me 7 seconds ago, right? Maybe it's behind me now. It's in the room with me, isn't it? I would love it if these walls were line of sight. Oh, they are. Oh, that's awesome. Oh, no, they're not. These walls are not line of sight at all, actually. Killing the caster might be a great idea. Having a wall actually be line of sight would have been useful too, though. I think I saw it. I think I saw the chest. I'm sure someone else is looting it, like, as we speak. Oh, no, there it is. Okay, we gotta heal up, though. We got respawns. I got no health and mana. We need to heal up. Dustin, you're liking what you see in War Within? That's cool, man. Like, I wish I could, like, enjoy any part of War Within. I would really like it if, like, they could get retail to a point where I could just do the content I want. I would love it if I can just log into the game and do delves for a few hours a week, you know? I would love it if I could just do delves for a few hours a week, or if I could just log in and do Mythic Plus for a few hours a week. Like, that'd be really great. Because, yeah, I mean, I have a lot of fun with the classes. in retail. The classes in retail are just really fun. I miss my Shadow Priest. I miss pushing those buttons. Sometimes I miss the Evoker and the fun that we had in like in Mythics on that class. Like the button pushing in retail WoW is top notch. I just don't really care about the stories. I don't really care about the open world content. And I don't care about the characters. And like if I could just play the game and like just do some delves or just do some mythics, I wish I could do that. I wish they could make that like an accessible way to play their game. I don't like being forced to do content that I find bad. I don't want to do the bad, boring treadmill content just to do the content I enjoy. So like when that changes, then I will play more retail. Because I'd love to have something else to do. It's creeping up on me. The chest is inside the house. There was nothing good in that chest. It seems like somebody probably took the good stuff and left the rest. I guess the best example of what I'm talking about is like the empowered delves, right? To actually do an empowered delve and get the proper reward out of it, you have to have something called a coffer key. But you can't get coffer keys by doing delves. You have to get coffer keys by doing something else. And that's my best example. I don't want to have to do something else so that I can then go do delves. I just want to go do a bunch of fucking delves and have a great time. That's all I want. I don't want to have to go do the Arathi World event or a weekly quest to get my coffer keys first. I don't like that content. That content's garbage. I just want to go into the delves, and I want to spend 3 hours doing delves, and then I want to log out. And then I want to get some loot while I'm in there to make me more powerful, so the next time I spend 3 hours in doing delves, I can push harder. Same thing with mythics. I just want to be able to log in and queue up for some mythics. And then I want to get rewards from those mythics, and then I want to queue up and do more mythics. I don't want to have to run off and do other shit between the mythics, before the mythics, after the mythics, once a week, twice a week, once a day. I don't want to have to worry about any of that garbage. I only want to play the parts of the game that I think are enjoyable, because there are so many parts of the game these days that I don't enjoy. So when I can play it like that, then I will. We'll see if we ever get there. Well, that's my other thing too. You talk about like the specs and like if you're gonna like a spec. Like before I even like go to get my character, I know the first thing I have to do is I have to look up some builds on Wowhead. That's the other depressing thing. Is like even if I go to get on my Shadow Priest, which, like, you know, we played a lot of the Shadow Priest in Season 3, Season 4 Dragonflight. We played a little bit of the Priest at the beginning of War Within. If I got on it today, I'd have to go look at a spec guide on Wowhead and see, like, what am I supposed to spec? Because it's not even at a point where you can just read the talents and they make sense and they flow together and they're logical and you can just pick things that sound good. You have to follow a guide, and that's the other, like, that's like an upfront barrier. The upfront barrier to me even being able to enjoy the content I like is that I have to go follow a guide first to get my character spec'd. I'm sure at this point they have 0 of their talents spent. Jess, good afternoon to you and welcome to the stream. Lael, good afternoon, buddy. Welcome and thanks for being here today. Spec seems pretty strong and fun. It's incredibly fun, and it is incredibly strong. It's one of the best DPS specs in SOD right now, and it just does a lot of damage. And we have a really good weapon on, and that always helps. Do I ever use a bow too? In the beginning I did. Like early on I would open up with the bow and I'd shoot them a little bit while they ran up to us. But not recently. I don't even have shoot on my bar anymore. That's what happened. At some point I just lost the shoot ability. The shoot ability ceased to exist, and like I feel like I'm being really dumb, but I can't find it. I have attack, but it's almost like I'm missing stuff. Oh, auto shot. Okay, for some reason auto shot is hidden in marksmanship. And I'm used to like classes that have a bow like the warrior. I'm used to this being on their main page. But for some reason on the hunter, auto shot is in marksmanship, which is not where it is supposed to be. Auto shot should be on the general tab, like it is with the warrior, like how priests and warlocks and mages have the wand shoot on their general tab. That's why I lost my auto shoot and I never found it again. Because sometimes I would use it to pull packs, but then it was just gone. So, I still got arrows. We need to get a better bow. This bow is like one of the first bows we ever had. I'd like to get a bow with stats on it. Level 10 bow. Yeah, level 10 bow is not going to do much damage at this point, is it? But we need to get something with like some agility on it would be awesome. The one thing we don't have is an interrupt. It's an interesting tool for a melee class to not have at all. I think every other melee class has at least one interrupt. Pallies have interrupts, shamans have interrupts, rogues have interrupts, warriors have interrupts. We don't get one. Maybe that's the trade-off for being like so strong. We just never get an interrupt. Isn't there like a sleep shot or something that hunters get? Some kind of tranquilizing dart or something. Well, Frost Trap is, yeah, I guess that would interrupt somebody from casting. I guess I didn't think to use it that way. You know, because it's a CC. But yeah, I suppose that would do it. If someone were casting a heal... Now, wait though, can I drop traps in combat? I think I can. I don't think you can in regular Classic era though. Let's see. Freezing trap is what I need, right? Yeah, see, traps can only be placed while out of combat. That's not true, though, because I lay my immolation trap all the time. So I think that used to be true in, like, regular Classic, but I don't think it's true in SOD. We're gonna test it. Can I lay my freezing trap while I'm in a fight? Okay, we're in combat, and yes. We can lay the trap while we're in a fight. So, yeah, so we can do that when they're gonna heal. That'll work. It's not really, like, exactly what I want to do, but, I mean, it has a short cooldown, and if it works, it works. Yeah, this is Wyvern Strike. So this used to be like Wyvern Shots, but for SOD we have it changed that it now is a melee strike. So we have a rune that changes what Wyvern Strike does. That's why we're using it in melee now. We have concussion shot, but concussion shot will not interrupt spellcasting. Not in classic, at least. It's possible that in every version of WoW, like, things get slightly different. There have been many, many iterations, but yeah, in classic we have concussion shot, but it doesn't stop casting. And I think there was a tranquilizing shot that was only... Oh, it removes rage. I was gonna say, like, maybe tranquilizing shot was only to be used on beasts, but maybe it was meant to remove enrages. Not put them to sleep. In marksmanship, there's a chance to stun, but that's it. Oh, okay, yeah, it's not even 100%. Probably not worth it. That was a good time to level up. Silencing shot is in TBC. There we go. By TBC we get an interrupt. Alright, what do we want to do with our talent points? Because I think we're like, unless we want more deflection, we're done in survival. I don't think there's anything else here that I want. We're probably not going into Beast Mastery since we don't have beasts. Reduce the mana cost of shots, strikes, and stings. This should reduce the cost to everything, right? Isn't everything a shot, a strike, or a sting? And then we can go into crit chance, which I'm assuming will apply to everything. Yeah, lethal shots. But I hope this crit is just like a base crit that applies to all of our attack. Yeah, so let's go with that. It seems to be our only real option. We got all the tusk we need. Did we ever get all of the other item? Yes, apparently we have all of our troll items. We are done with trolls. Let's head over to the Venture Company site. And we'll hunt goblins for their blue crystals. After that, we can go behind the Gurabashi arena and fight raptors. In SOD it does apply to melee, however in Classic it doesn't. That's really nice. It's really nice that they went through with like a fine-tooth comb and retailored the way some of the talents work so that they work for the different specs they've created. Let's see... Where are these guys? Here we go. We have no inventory space. I'm blaming these stupid pages. I wish I could set up a rule to automatically delete these. Delete without looting. Yeah, I need that. Delete without looting. Some kind of small first aid heal, like a survival ability that gives us like a little heal would be awesome. Not a big heal, like just some kind of heal over time. Like it can be field bandage, improvised bandage, and it heals like 20% of your HP over 30 seconds, 20 seconds, 15 seconds, I don't know. Some kind of channeled ability. Clint, good afternoon. Welcome to the stream. Thanks for stopping by. Clint says, that's just called the first aid profession. True. Very, very true. That's in the game, Robert. It's called first aid. I know. I've been bad at leveling up my first aid. I just want it to be an ability I click. Okay. Okay. Just want it to be easier. 'Cause yeah, I don't have any wool, and now I have to get wool to level it up. And I think we're getting silk now. I'll probably just buy some off the auction house next time we're in town and get it leveled up really quick. Last time I fought these guys on the Paladin, they didn't summon any robots out, and now these guys are summoning robots out like non-stop. And we have company out here. We have a level 60 paladin running a level 36 paladin through the quest, so it's going to be challenging for us to get tags for a second. Only the Tinkers drop robots. Maybe the last time I did this quest, it simply didn't spawn a lot of Tinkers in. I think I mostly fought Surveyors and Overseers, which was luckier than all these Tinkers. Oh my god, we are out of mana. I can go Viper. If I go Viper, I can start regenning mana. Kind of forgot about that one. It's a good trick. We need a... Okay, I got it. We need a healing stance. Like, we have Viper to regen our mana. We need an aspect of Beast that can heal itself. Let's call it the Wolverine stance. Yeah, we need an aspect of the Wolverine. And then we gain health back as we attack. And then you could flip between Viper and Wolverine, and you can keep your health and mana going indefinitely. That would be really awesome. I would like that very much. It's an animal. A Wolverine is an animal. They can't copyright an animal. And the icon would be a picture of the Wolverine animal, not of Wolverine from X-Men. Obviously the reference would be that Wolverine has a healing power, but in this game it would just be a reference because the icon would be like a Wolverine, you know, like an actual Wolverine. So there would be no copyright infringement. It would just be a reference that everyone understood. I think they could definitely get away with it. Look how far we are. Oh my god. Hell of a run. I mean, Wolverines are hardy animals. Where do you think Marvel Comics got it from? You're telling me Wolverines don't have a healing power? I don't know where they would have got it from then. Yeah, nondescript Wolverine mammal. Yeah, exactly. I think it could be okay. Okay, I got it. Wolverine's not gonna work. Let's make it the aspect of the Sabretooth. I think that one will be okay. Aspect of the Sabretooth. That's it. That's all the animal named heroes that I know that have healing powers. I can't think of any others. Oh, aspect of the white tiger. There we go. How about aspect of the white tiger? Although that's a healing amulet that he has. I don't know if that is actually like a power, or if the power just comes from the artifact. I don't know. We could just do aspect of like the vampire bat, and then it could be a leech mechanic. Where you take their health and heal it. Do they have some kind of heal in retail? Everybody has heals in retail. Yeah, they got a heal. They got a big old heal in retail. Everybody has heals in retail. In retail, everybody has heals. Everybody has damage reductions. Everybody has DPS cooldowns. Everybody has burst. Everybody has AoE. Everybody has single. In retail, like the classes are fun, but they've been homogenized as far as what they can do. They can all do everything. True story. The mage has no self heals. Yeah, but they got multiple bubbles, don't they? That's basically the same. Why is this guy fighting me? What did I do to you? I did nothing to you. I did nothing to you. It's the only class with no heals, but they got multiple bubbles though. So like it doesn't count. They have plenty of self-sustain in the form of like not getting damaged, right? Yeah, they have multiple shields. Mages have cauterized. There you go. Busted. It's not a spell, but a proc. Oh, okay, kind of busted. They have self-sustain, though. I guess that's more to the point. Every class has self-sustain. A lot of that is in the form of heals. Some of it is in the form of shields, bubbles, vanishes, damage mitigation, you know. We are back to 0 inventory. Oh man, there's no like hidden vendors around here anywhere. I guess if I want a vendor, I have to go up to the hunting camp or I have to go down to Booty Bay, and I really don't want to go to either of those places right now. But I am getting kind of sick of throwing stuff on the ground. So yeah. We're gonna have to do something. My bags are really small. I'm carrying around all these recipes that I ought to not be carrying around. Pop this silly little mana potion. We're gonna drink these pretty soon. That's gonna open up a spot. Wildvine can go. Troll Mojo can go. Okay. Okay, I can live with that. Yeah, I'd like to not go to Nessingway's camp until I've killed all the raptors, but is that going to be a possibility? Not if I want to be in any way efficient. Where are we at here? What do we got going on? 6 out of 10. Okay, 6 out of 10. Are there tinkers back here? You're a foreman, you're a foreman, you're a miner. Okay. So still probably a bad idea. We don't have a lot of AoE, obviously. Outside of Explosion Trap. Apparently we can't hit either. Well, we're not dead, we feigned death. But we're gonna chill here for a minute. I'm assuming, like, as we're feigning death, are we regenerating health and mana? Because, like, as soon as I pop up, they're gonna be on us. We may have been regenerating, just not a crap ton. Let's do this. Okay, okay, not great still. Eventually he'll give up on us. There we go. Would Feign Death work as an interrupt? Like if we had somebody casting a heal on themselves and we hit Feign Death, will they stop trying to heal themselves? I don't know. I don't think so. I would assume that the heal would go off and then they would reset themselves, but maybe they would stop casting and reset themselves immediately. We'd have to test it to know for sure. Maybe we'll try to test it. Man, we are just getting beat up. I think I need to get a full set of mail armor because I am kind of getting tired of having to heal after like almost every fight. And all I can attribute it to is the fact that we're still wearing leather. Because they are occasionally, like, unless we get a bunch of crits, they beat on us pretty good. Do I want to pull this group again? Probably not. Especially not. Let's let this guy go in. He'll pull the Tinker. Maybe he'll pull some other guys and we can pick some of them off. Yeah, let's go in and we'll grab this guy. Seems okay. Slide over here and pick this guy up. Alright, that is 10 out of 10. So, I think we have to go back to Nesting Warrior's camp, to Vendor. I mean, maybe not. Let's go fight the Raptors. Let's go fight the Raptors and just, like, see what happens. I'd rather not go back to camp until we are done with that quest. I guess it's probably time to learn the next rank of skinning, too. Seeing as how these guys are orange for skinning, and we're capped out at 225 right now. Probably a good time to learn the next rank. You're leveling Horde for the first time, and you must say it's pretty convenient. Yeah, all the traveling is much better on the Horde side. Just having 2 flight points in Stranglethorn alone is worth it, but having the Zeppelins being so accessible... It's like, the ease of travel on the Horde side compared to the Alliance side is really crazy. But, you know, I don't really like any of the Horde side races. It's a huge problem. And then, like, I love Blood Elves. But it makes it hard to play a faction just because I love one race. You know, then I have one race on the faction that I like, and then I can't play any other races. I'm a known WoW racist. There are races in WoW I just don't like the look of. Yeah. That's absolutely true. But can you blame me? I mean, have you seen the female orc's wand animation? Go take a look at the female orc's wand animation. And tell me if it's not the most broke thing you've ever seen in your life. It is broke. Then go look at the female troll running animation and tell me it's not the most horrendous thing you've ever gazed upon. Because it is. And then watch a Tauren run for a long time and tell me if you just, like, if it doesn't feel like your Tauren is, like, running through molasses. Or, like, running underwater. They just start to look like they're running underwater after a while. Like, all these things are true. And I didn't make the races that way, Blizzard did, so... If you're male on Horde, it's okay. I beg to differ. Let's look at the trolls. The trolls have, like, really, really bad back problems, apparently. They're for some reason, their vertebrae bend in ways that the female vertebrae don't bend. That's really weird and like kind of gruesome. The male orcs are all dumb looking and like completely hunched over, like just meat bags. The undead, you know, you can see all of their bones, which is horrible whether you're male or female, having to see every single exposed bone, and then having like your spine stick through all of your clothes. For some reason, you equip a robe and part of the sleeve is floating above the rest of the robe, just so we can see your bony elbows. Did I forget anybody? Trolls, Tauren, orcs. I don't think any of it looks really good. I don't think any of it looks really good, unfortunately. But that's just me, though. To each their own. Yeah, they don't wear... None of them wear armor as well. Like, the orcs are okay. The orcs wear their armor pretty well. At least they can wear boots. Boots are good. Tauren can't wear boots. Trolls can't wear boots. I guess Forsaken wear boots, but the rest of their clothes has holes in it anyway, so what does it matter? No, Blood Elves are the only good race that the Horde has, but we just don't get to use them until TBC. Alright, now we can go back to the Nestingori camp. We can turn this one in, we can get the follow-up, and more importantly, we can vendor all of our stuff. Like, we're gonna vendor, like, everything. I don't need this guy yet, but it's nice to know he'll be hanging out when we do need him. This was our skinning hunter. Yeah, this hunter, the purpose of this hunter started off as just like skinning and selling. But then it turned into the funnest spec that I've ever played. So yeah, it's been great. This is probably going to be the character that I DPS raids on. And then if I want to do anything on the Paladin, I'd probably tank on the Pally, because tanking on the Pally seems a lot of fun. But I think for like raiding, I'd probably focus on this character, like dealing DPS. Because of the whole, like, funnest spec I've ever played thing. It's just a joy to push the buttons. It's been amazing. I've really enjoyed it. Yep, it's the funnest spec I've played in Classic.
Great to meet you. Safe travel.
I mean, I guess we go right after Tethys. I guess there's not really a reason to wait. We could just go after him now. I probably don't have to follow the road. As long as I don't get too close to Gromgol, I could probably take a straight line. Cut a little bit of time off the travel here. Unless we get dismounted 100 times. And then it'll have the reverse effect. Yeah, let's try to take more of a straight line approach. I think if we go right here, we can cross over on some rocks. See how this works. Yeah, we almost took a little swim. Not as smooth as I wanted it to be, but we got across. Well, there's his body. That's great. Strangely, it seems like somebody didn't even loot him, because I can't skin him. So maybe he wasn't even looted. And now we wait for him to respawn. And we don't really know like where he's going to do that. He could respawn down here, he could respawn in a couple of places. Let's fight some stuff. We'll just fight some stuff for a little bit as we run between his spawn points and keep an eye out for him. I hope the person who killed him didn't have the quest, because if they did, then they didn't loot the item. How are the professions going? Professions are going rough. Yeah. You gotta devote a lot of extra time in SOD to level professions. Skinning is basically the only profession that seems like it's easy to keep going as you level. And if you want to level anything else, like blacksmithing and mining especially, you have to be willing to stick around in zones that you're not questing in anymore to grind out more resources. Because with the faster leveling, you just don't spend enough time in any one place to keep those going as you level up. Yeah, my advice would be, if you don't want to have to backtrack, which is what I'm gonna have to do, then you want to spend extra time in the zones. Damn. Okay. I thought we could kill this guy, but now I'm not sure. I am not sure this is gonna happen. I don't know. Maybe we can't solo this guy. Maybe we're gonna have to wait until we have help. We don't have any potions now. So we are out of potions. And yeah, I don't really think there's a lot we can do without potions. I don't really think there's a lot we can do. So maybe we're not doing this now. We're gonna die anyway, so. Yeah, I mean, what are we gonna do right now? If we're not gonna do the rest of what's here, then we have to go somewhere else. So, like, where else do we go at level 41? I don't know. I do know that it's not gonna happen for 10 minutes. Yeah, we can go. We'd be early. We'd be pretty early for Tannerus. We can go to Tannerus, but level 41's kind of early. That's really all we have, though. I can't really think of anywhere else. The thing is, like, I don't even. I have a hard time now keeping track of like who has flight points where and who has been where. I don't know if we've been over that way or not. I really don't remember. Let's turn some stuff in here. Maybe we can do the pirate quest. Have we done the pirate quest on this character? Maybe we've already done the pirate quest. I've been here too much recently. This seems like a normal walking animation. I walk like that in real life when I walk the dog. So this is completely nothing weird going on here. Cathedral, yeah, maybe. Am I doing incursions? No, we're not doing incursions, and it's odd. I don't really enjoy that kind of content. I know it would be faster to level up, and it would be like everything about the process would be faster, but the way that they're described to me, like, I don't think I'm gonna enjoy incursions. It's just like mindless, grindy content that gets you leveled up quick. I'm kind of skipping them. Let's go see if we can turn in some of these quests, see if that gets us level 42, and then we'll have to figure out what we want to do next.
Time is money, friend. Have a good one. Be good. Keep it real.
You got my attention. Yo! Keep it real! Hurry back! Glad I could help! Peace, friend. Farewell.
Keep your nose clean in my town. Adventure awaits.
Run them once a day. Yeah, I guess I don't really know like how many there are where I would do them. I've just been doing the normal questing routes, not really worrying about the added content.
What's up? Time is money, friend. What's up? Keep it real. Glad I could help. Hurry back.
There we go. So that's level 42. I think we did pick up the quest for the pirates. Yeah, Swashbuckler's Church. There's one more quest to get a dude's eyeball. Maybe I can find that guy really quick. He's like hiding in an alley somewhere. Where is this guy? Maybe he's back here. Yeah, there he is.
What can I do for you?
Alright. Cool. Selling my stuff, like emptying my bags would be pro. That would be a really good idea.
What are you looking for?
I'm looking to sell every single thing in my bags, actually. Like, indiscriminately. Keep some of the silk. I'll keep the thick leather to see if we can sell it. But yeah, I just gotta get rid of stuff. I just have to get rid of stuff. That's all. Not gonna... Well, you know, I might use those. Let's see. Yeah, this is an upgrade, so we can equip those. Can sell those. Sell that stuff. And then also, like, I might need to get some more water. We might be getting low on water. So maybe we want to do that before we run. We also have 6 minutes to kill before we can go fight anything, so... Alright, what I'm going to do, I'm going to take a 5-minute break. I'm going to go refill my coffee, grab a quick snack, and then I'll be back. Let me buy the food and drink now so that I don't forget. We'll just stock up on water, and I'll be back in about 5 minutes. See you guys then. Alright, we are back. Thank you guys for hanging out. Alpha T, good afternoon to you, buddy. Welcome to the stream. Alright, so the bags are emptied. Res sickness has rolled off of us. We also have the Spirit of the Zandalar. So that's cool. Let's go kill some pirates, because apparently we have not done that on this character yet. Nothing like killing pirates in the sunset on the beach. And we have a talent point. I'm gonna keep going into efficiency. From what I've read and from what I've heard, the two-hander is best right now for the melee hunter. That's what I've read and what I've heard, which I think that means like you could probably still dual wield, but it feels like the two-hander is more powerful, and it feels like they almost intentionally have made it that way. I'm really happy we can be viable with a two-hander. I don't think I would not have liked the melee hunter as much if we had the dual wield. It's just like a personal thing. For some reason, the only class that I like dual wielding on is a rogue. Every other class dual wielding really bothers me. Like, I don't really like it on the warrior, even though I like the button pushing. I've come to enjoy like the classic era dual wield warrior like button pressing. I don't like the aesthetic of it. I don't like a dual wield shaman. I love it during the eras of the game when we can do a two-hand enhancement shaman. I think like TBC is pretty good for two-hand enhancement. But yeah, I just don't like dual wield. Something about it bothers me. Unless it's a rogue. Patrick, good afternoon and welcome to the stream. Thanks for being here. Yeah, Fury was always the best spec. I'm finally starting to enjoy the button pushing. I've given it enough of a chance on the Anniversary Warrior now that like I can see that the button pushing is fun. It's really fun. I just wish that a two-hander could be as viable. Just because I enjoy the aesthetic more. And obviously it's always easier to find one good weapon than to have to find two good weapons. Maybe that's the other side of that coin, is like, functionally speaking, it's easier to get a hold of one really good weapon than two. Am I on a melee hunter? Yeah, I'm on a melee hunter. This is Season of Discovery. There's so much at play here beyond just my talents. Like, I can show you my talents, but that's not what's making us a melee hunter. What's making us a melee hunter is that this is Season of Discovery, and we have a bunch of runes, and a bunch of abilities and talents have been tweaked and changed. to make this melee hunter two-handed weapon build with no pet very viable. But again, only because it's sod. Sometimes the charts of the orders are over here. Let's have a look. Oh, here we go. Blood cell charts. Don't mind if I do. Don't mind if I do. Just grab that. A little bit of friendly competition never hurt anybody. Okay. Let's work our way down here. And sometimes there's one over on the boat. And sometimes we get really unlucky and it's in the camp instead. Not seeing anything on the boat today. Yeah, here they are. They're right here. But it looks like the camp is being cleared out by somebody, so that's good. So just in overview, the runes are these additional abilities that you slot into a lot of your items. Speaking of which, we need to reslot our gloves. So we gotta find our gloves just up here somewhere. Or we could just search. But yeah, here we go. Let's put Cobra Slayer back on our gloves. So each of these is just like a different ability. Some of them change existing abilities. Some of them are like new abilities in and of themselves. You can get them all right at level 1, and then you can slot them onto your gear. And then as you slot different new abilities on your gear, you kind of create a different spec than would have existed in regular Classic era. So we have the charts, we have the orders, we need swashbucklers, and we need snuff. So maybe we should hang out, see if we can get some respawns popping up. We've got a vendor here conveniently, but we don't really need a vendor right now. Then again, we can get rid of these. Get rid of these.
See you around.
There we go. We could probably group with this guy just to get tags on the guys we need. Since we already have the charts and orders, the snuff we'll have to get just as we can. But it's probably good to have a group right now. This is an EU server that I'm on. This is Wild Growth EU. Yeah, I play SOD on the EU servers, and I'll probably end up playing Mist of Pandaria on the EU servers also. We've actually picked up a lot of snuff so far. We've got 6 out of 15. Haven't picked up Dizzy's eyeball yet. Maybe we should head a little bit further out of the camp here. Lale, that sounds gross, man. There's so much pollen there, the roads are yellow. It sounds gross. And we haven't gotten our... Nothing is blooming here yet, thankfully. It's not yet in bloom. Probably have another week or so. My allergies have already been bad. Allergies at this point in my life are just like... They're just a daily misery that I'm just used to. I wouldn't even say that my allergies really bother me a lot anymore. They're definitely not as bad as they were when I was a kid, for one. For some reason, also, like, moving to Missouri and then moving back to Michigan somehow, like, helped my allergies. Like, they're just not as bad anymore as they used to be. But yeah, it's just like a daily misery that I just kind of don't think about. We've got all the swashbucklers we need. We need 5 more snuff, and we need to find this dude's eyeball. It looks like a haze outside with so much pollen falling. That just is bad. The plants are trying to kill us all. It's like that M. Night Shyamalan movie with Mark Wahlberg. The really bad one. Where for some reason he was married to a 12-year-old. I'm not really sure what was going on with that movie. I don't have any potions. I feel like I'm about to feign death here. The Happening, yeah, that movie. The one where Mark Wahlberg and his 12-year-old wife have to fight plants. Otherwise known as the last M. Night Shyamalan movie that I watched. Well, it was the last M. Night Shyamalan movie that I watched that I knew I was watching an M. Night Shyamalan movie. Because then there was that Will Smith movie, the sci-fi one, that, like, I didn't know was an M. Night Shyamalan movie. His name wasn't on it at all. And then, we watched the whole movie, and then his name was at the end of the credits. And I was like, oh, this is an M. Night Shyamalan movie. And, like, all through that movie, like, things about that movie felt really familiar to me. And then at the end, finding out it was an M. Night Shyamalan movie, I was like, oh, okay, everything makes sense now. This whole movie makes so much more sense now. Zoe was 16. Yeah, the actress that played Mark Wahlberg's wife in The Happening. Like, when I started watching that movie, I just didn't understand what was going on because she looked like she was 12. Because she just naturally looks like she's 12, I think. But also, she was probably pretty young at the time. And I'm like, is that his daughter? And it's like, no, that's his wife. And I was like, wait. Mark Wahlberg's like 45. How old is this kid? And then I got stuck on that. And then, of course, the movie was bad. And so, because of all that, that was like the last M. Night Shyamalan movie that I watched that I knew what I was getting into. That being said, the sci-fi one with Will Smith was actually pretty good. If I had known it was an M. Night Shyamalan movie, I never would have went to see it in the first place. Because, yeah, he burned his bridges with me with The Happening. And Lady in the Water sucked. I don't care what people say. Lady in the Water was not a good movie. Yep. Even the Village, which I felt like the Village had a really good mystery about it, like in the build-up sequences of the film, even the Village ended up not being that good. Anyway, Unbreakable will always be the best M. Night Shyamalan movie. And then maybe after Unbreakable, maybe Signs. Yeah, Unbreakable and Signs. And that's it, that's all I need. Yeah, you were so into the Village until the last 10 minutes. Basically, yeah. The Village was really good, and then it wasn't. You reach a point, and without spoilers, you just reach a point in the movie where suddenly the movie's not good anymore. Yeah. It was like really good, really into it, and then you're like, oh, okay, no. I'm done. We still need more snuff. The good news is I found the eyeball. At some point we looted the guy's eyeball, and I didn't notice. Your dad fell asleep during the village. That was probably the best use of his time. I would have to say. As someone who sat through the whole thing, like falling asleep right away is probably the best use of your time in that movie. Today, I'm going to go to see the Minecraft movie with my kid, and I definitely plan to try to go to sleep for a bit. Yeah, we're seeing it at 7 p.m., and by 7 p.m. I'll be sleepy. And so I plan to fall asleep during the Minecraft movie. So, I get it. Sometimes sleep is just more important at this age. Yesterday my kid tried to convince me that Jack Black actually looks just like Steve from Minecraft. He sat there on a car ride and just like, he had this long argument with me that just kept getting more and more preposterous as I tried to explain to him that like I knew what the character model of Steve looks like and I know what Jack Black looks like and they don't look the same at all. He like literally tried to argue me into accepting that Jack Black is the perfect Steve. And I was just like, I got so mad. I don't know if he knew I was mad, but in my head I was just like, oh my god. I can't believe this 9-year-old is trying to convince me that Jack Black looks like Steve from Minecraft. I was like losing my mind. Absolutely incredible. Like every point I brought up, he negated it. He just casually negated it. I was like, Steve doesn't have a giant bushy beard. And he was like, no, Steve's got a beard. Steve has a beard. It basically looks just like Jack Black's beard. It looks basically the same. Like everything I said, like he just countered it. I don't mind Jack Black. I just don't understand like how they got to a point where they casted him as Steve. I think he must have done the role for free. Like it was probably, money was probably a big issue. That's all I can think of is that maybe he did the role for like really cheap or he did it for free. You know, he just did Bowser in the Mario movie, so he already had a video game movie on his resume. And they were like, sure, let's cast him as Steve. This makes perfect sense. This isn't gonna annoy anybody at all. Like, I don't really have a dog in the fight. I don't really care about Minecraft at all. I'm too old to really care about Minecraft that much. But I do care about bad casting choices. Bad casting bothers the hell out of me. And I feel like this one's gonna be a miss. And I will find that out in a few hours from now. Yeah, your favorite part of Steve has always been his giant bushy beard. Right. Oh man. Yeah, my kid's at the age where like, he shouldn't be at that age because he's turning 10 this year, but he acts like a teenager. He's at the point where he doesn't want to believe anything I say. He wants to argue anything I say, even if the thing I'm saying is very obvious, like we can both see the evidence right in front of us. Like he still thinks it's his job to argue with me now. So that's been a real thing. Such a daily joy. We got action here. What's going on? Okay, they're chasing a druid. Let's sneak back here while they're doing that. And we'll fight these guys. We need 3 more snuff. We're getting close. You know who would have made a good Steve? Guardians of the Galaxy guy. Chris Pratt. Chris Pratt looks basically just like Steve. Exactly like carbon copy of Steve. He would have made a good Steve. And he's funny too. I think the movie would have been even more funny. Karen, good evening to you and welcome to the stream. I feel like Chris Pratt would have been a really good choice for Steve. And like I said, he's got the comedy background on his resume. Like everything he does is funny. Like how could he not be a good Steve? And if you look at his face, like he looks just like Steve. It's like it's uncanny. But he'd probably work for a lot more money than Jack Black would work for. You know, he'd probably want like some actual money. So proven. Frost Trap works as a really good interrupt when you are on a melee class that doesn't get an interrupt. That is not bad. I kind of have to be ready to click it because there is a little bit of time while it lays down. But as long as I'm ready to get it, it's fine. Don't think the heavy wool bandage is going to do a lot. We are going to have to spend some time and some money, and we're going to have to at least get first aid leveled up, because I don't think it's going to feel very good if we don't get that leveled up soon. That, however, is the last of the snuff we need. Let's get ourselves back to Booty Bay. We'll turn all this stuff in. 42 is an okay level to start doing some things in Tannerus. And some things in Feralus. But I really don't know on this character if we have any flight points that get us anywhere close. I don't think we have anything going on in Kalimdor. So I'd have to think about how I wanted to get there and what that travel all looks like. Because depending on what we have, it could be a lot of travel. I think, like, the first step would be to fly to Menethil Harbor, then get on the boat to Dustwallow. Then we gotta run the boat, or run the run from Dustwallow down through Thousand Needles. So yeah, possibly a bit of travel to get us anywhere else where we can do any kind of real questing. Because I think we're almost, I mean, we could try to, like, do Zanzil's Mixture, like, we can try to hit a little bit above our belt, and, like, try to do Zanzil's Mixture, but that one can be pretty tough. But we'll see. Maybe we should try to get it done now so we don't have to worry about coming back later.
The Alliance. Greetings. Light bless you.
On a pint? What's your beck?
What brings you here? Goodbye. Be careful. Ancestors watch over you.
Something. See you around.
I feel like there are two quests we should have that we don't have. Akiris by the bundle I can grab over here, we can do that one, but there should be a quest for some named guys. The named undead guys.
Greetings.
That quest, I think we're missing. And we would normally do that one with Zanzil's Secrets or Zanzil's Mixture. But I have no idea who gives us that one. I guess probably one of these guys would have to have it. It's not Tranrek. It's not the Lost Grog. And I doubt we've already done it. It's not Captain's Chest. Very strange. Yeah, we're definitely missing the one. I guess for now we can go do Akiris by the bundle. So weird. disengage does not get us out of traps, unfortunately. So, zesty clam meats. Do I need this? No. No, I need tangy clam meat. I think maybe the paladin needs the zesty stuff. Yeah, we need tangy. I mean, the class is strong, the spec is strong, but we are definitely eating and drinking like it's classic era. Has a very, a very classic vibe to it. If I had bandages and if I was making better use of Viper Stance, then probably wouldn't feel as bad. Yeah, the yellow mobs do hurt a lot. It's something that I don't think a lot of people understand that about SOD. How much all the mobs have been buffed, and once you get into the 40s especially, once you're in the 40s and 50s and you're fighting at level stuff, they hit hard, they do a lot of damage. Like, you also have lots of tools and lots of ways to deal a lot of damage, but you're getting hit. You're not steamrolling mobs. At least it never feels that way for me. Even when I intentionally do big pulls, I don't feel like I'm steamrolling them. I feel like I'm intentionally doing a big pull and that I'm dealing with it systematically. But during that process, like this right here, like you get hit quite a bit. And you get low on resources. And it definitely still feels like classic in that regard. Now, obviously, if all you do when you level in the game is, like, spam incursions, then you're never going to feel that. You're never going to, like, get a sense for that. But if you're doing the questing, it becomes very obvious. I don't find it annoying how every ability seems to use the same animation. No, I'm a classic WoW player. I'm a classic WoW player, and I'm someone who's used to watching auto attack specs. Like, I'm used to mainly auto attack specs, where we have a couple of abilities that we cast, and then a lot of the times we're relying on auto attacks, or we're playing a caster and we're relying on wand, so like, the animations don't bother me. It's repetitive because we're clicking so many more abilities than we would normally click in Classic Era. Whereas, like I said, a lot of melee Classic Era builds are about auto attack. But no, it doesn't bother me. I don't care. It looks, the great thing is it's a female night elf, so it looks really cool every time it happens. But no, as a Classic Era player, I'm used to these kinds of things. The incursion mobs also hit very hard. Don't people group up though and do those, like mainly in groups? Or do they still hit? They still hit hard though if you solo them. That's good to know at least. You need a group for the elites. Ah. I felt like on the paladin I could solo elites fine. On this character, without potions, I really can't. Like, I feel like if I got a potion, I can solo elites, but it's getting harder and harder the higher level we get. Procrastination, I'm glad that we can be here to distract you while you're working from home. Welcome to the stream today. Tumble, thanks for being here. I appreciate it. Looks like we need to go up top. I mean, the main thing that's happening here is we're fighting these guys that are level 44 and we're not critting as much. And they're dodging a lot. And we're missing a lot. So we're missing, we're not critting, they're dodging and parrying. And then that drags the fight out, and then they're dealing a decent amount of damage to us. Whereas if we step down and we fight like level 42 mobs, then we're going to be getting crits all the time. See, when we get crits, the flow of combat is like very different. Not being in cheetah stance for combat would really help out. Yeah, aspect of the dazed, right? That's how I live my life. In aspect of the dazed stance. And I don't know if maybe we're going to be on the hunt for a better weapon soon. Sword of the Magistrate, here's level 36. I think this is still really good. But I feel like, you know, by level 44 or 45, we should probably have something else. I'd love to get a King's Decapitator for this character. We have one on the Paladin. And I probably should have just sent it over to this character instead. Because that would have been amazing. Oh boy, that guy is bringing back help. Let's kill him. And let's come over here and feign death. There we go, that worked. Yeah, John, that's nice, man. That's like, if you want to level fast, that's clearly the way to go. Level 40 to 42 in 25 minutes. And you made a bunch of gold. Like, definitely. I would say someone who just wants to get a character to cap, and what they want to do is they just want to raid, like, that's probably the way to do it. I've heard that you can level up professions in the incursions too. Things like herbalism and skinning and stuff like that. So yeah, it's definitely a way to go. We will probably eventually try a character that way, at least like a little bit. Probably not the full way, but maybe eventually we'll step into it. I just don't want to get sucked in, because like what happens with me in that kind of brain dead content is like, once I do it and I realize how efficient it is, then it's like my brain gets stuck feeling like that's what we have to do. You know, because once my brain knows like, oh yes, obviously this is better, like, you know, in an efficiency way, like, I'll get stuck doing them. So I've been avoiding them because I don't want to get stuck doing them. Kind of reminds me of the leveling event for retail that happened just before the War Within came out. We had that easy leveling event where I leveled up like 7 characters to max level and geared them up, and that's kind of what it reminds me of. And that burned me out of retail WoW. doing the leveling that way burned me out of retail WoW in a way that I didn't even realize until like weeks later. It was a very subtle and insidious like form of burnout. But yeah, I should maybe we should try to do it like daily. Could be a little change of pace, especially since we're not really doing a lot of dungeons. So maybe doing an incursion every once in a while could be a little change of pace. 25 minutes is not a lot of time to spend doing something. There's a chest? Okay, let's see. If I was a chest, where would I be? There it is, I see it. Yeah, what happens to me with content like that is like I'm the kind of person that will get stuck in them all day long. If I don't set some hard and fast rules for my behavior, like I'll do an event like that that levels me up really quick and I'll get stuck in it all day long. So maybe we'll do one tomorrow. Maybe we're kind of at a level range. We're doing getting a couple levels would be great. If we got a couple levels, we could be like level 44, level 45. Like going into Feralus and Tannerus at level 44 or 45 is much preferable than going in at level 41 or 42. So like maybe that could be something we start off with tomorrow. If I wanted to do an incursion at this level, where would I go? We almost did one in Duskwood. We almost did one in Duskwood back when we were questing out of Duskwood. Yeah, I guess I don't really know where I would do an incursion at this level. Ashenvale, okay. Yeah, we can maybe check that out. We're gonna have to be over in Durotar eventually, or over in Kalimdor eventually anyway. I'm not even sure if I have Ashenvale flight points. Because I don't think we did any questing in Ashenvale. I think we brought this character right over to the Eastern Kingdoms. So I would just have to make the run from Darkshore. Yeah, maybe I think I'll plan to start the day with it tomorrow, and we'll just do it once. We'll run through them all once and just see how we feel about it. And then after that, we'll be in a good spot to head right down to Tannerus. Start doing a bunch of questing out of Tannerus and Feralus. We are done here. We have all of the items that we need. Now, let's go do the Mistvale Giblets. If we can find a way across the little river inlet here, we can head over and fight the gorillas. And then we'll probably take those back to town afterwards. What's the instrument in the Stranglethorn music? The funky one? Like the rattle? Like the rattly one? There's a couple of weird sounds going on in this music track. And there's probably some like effects, obviously, too. Can I fight Is there a reason for me to AoE these guys? Not really. I don't really have any AoE. I think we're built more to fight things one at a time. Somebody is out here killing gorillas and not looting them. Shame on them. Or their bags were full like mine. Yeah. To be fair, like when my bags are full, I have the decency to empty them. I'm not shy about dropping stuff so I can keep looting. In this case, we just have a lot of clams. We need to pop these clams open. Not sure if popping them open in combat was the best idea. Can you use a pet as a melee hunter? Yes, if you want to. We are using the Lone Wolf rune on the chest. But yeah, if you wanted to have a pet and still be a melee hunter, you can definitely do that. And then you would probably go with... What would you go with then? Maybe you would go with Beast Mastery. Pet's damage and health are increased. Yeah, I think if you were a melee hunter with a pet, you'd go with Beast Mastery. Maybe Cobra Strike's shots and strike abilities. And with Mongoose, yeah, maybe you'd go with this one. Cause your pet's next 2 special attacks to critically hit. Could be good if you had a pet. Yeah, I'm not sure, like, DPS-wise, what works out to be more. I don't know if having a pet helps DPS or not. I'm super happy just to be able to not have to have a pet. When I didn't even have to do the pet quests, when I didn't even have to do, like, the Train Beast thing to get my Train Beast ability, I was so happy. It's basically a warrior. Oh, it's not basically a warrior. I already had to have that conversation with somebody today once. It's completely fundamentally different. That would be like it's kind of like the same thing like saying any melee class is basically a warrior is all that you're saying when you say that. It's like saying, well, a rogue's basically just a fury warrior. An enhancement shaman is basically just a fury. It's not though. Like we all know that. I know it's weird. I think like people just can't wrap their heads around it because I think for a lot of people that play WoW, for some reason hunter means pet. But for me, that's never been what it's meant. For me, hunter has never meant pet from like a fantasy sense, and I think that's the biggest difference in why people just want to have like that gut reaction. Oh, you're basically just playing a warrior. Okay, I'm playing a warrior with mana. I'm playing a warrior with traps. I'm playing a warrior with stings. I'm playing a warrior with beast aspects. Like I'm actually not playing a warrior at all. Playing something very different. But I guess I understand the initial knee-jerk reaction to if someone has like built their hunter fantasy around the concept of having a pet. That's just not something that I've ever done. But yeah, we've definitely gotten the you're basically just playing a warrior comments a couple of times. A couple of times. And with varying degrees of attitude. But yeah, sure. And in that regard, a paladin is just a warrior with holy magic, you know? We're all just warriors at heart. I think that's the reality. Everybody is basically just a warrior until they start doing some other stuff too. Like, I see this class more of like, you know, like Aragorn from Lord of the Rings. Like, this is what a ranger is to me. A ranger to me is someone who is able to thrive in the wilds. They usually wear leather or light chain gear. They are someone who is proficient with all kinds of weapons. They are someone who can operate at range, but who is probably better in a close quarters fight. Like, that's what a ranger is for me. Like, I built my ranger fantasy basically around Aragorn from Lord of the Rings. And he was a fighter. He was, you know, a close range fighter. He could use a bow, and that's fine, but that's not primarily what he did. Nor did he ever have a pet. So my idea of a hunter ranger is like completely different than the idea that somebody who came up playing WoW and formed their fantasy around the WoW class. Like, obviously, if you formed your fantasy around the WoW class, yeah, the WoW class has always had a pet. And so, you know, but there's different like fantasies for the ranger. A mage, yeah, a mage is just the warrior that uses spells. Right, obviously. Like, instead of a sword, they use spells, but it's basically the same thing. It's basically just a warrior. He was a multi-class fighter rogue. That's called a ranger. That's what a ranger is. Yeah, this is the ranger spec. This is the ranger fantasy. Yeah, he's warrior rogue. He's a ranger. And Gimli was a dwarf melee hunter? I mean, I guess. I don't know. This is like the most contentious build I've ever played. I get more comments about how I'm playing this build than like any other build I've ever played in the entire game. It's a lot of fun. Like, I don't know how I'm going to top this. Like, what am I going to play that tops all the comments I get about this spec? I'm not going to be able to play anything else that pulls in nearly as many comments as a melee hunter does. What could I do? I don't know. I guess there's the other weird ones like tank shaman, tank warlock, tank rogue. Like, there's stuff like that, but none of them are really good like solo builds. Healing mage. I'm not really interested in the healing mage. But I think this takes the cake for like bewildering people. It either bewilders people or it makes them angry. It has two very like different reactions. People either are like, what? A melee hunter without a pet? That sounds cool. Or they're like, what? A melee hunter without a pet? What is that? That's basically just a warrior. It's like two different reactions. I don't know if rogue tanks became any good. I don't look at, when I look at like rankings and stuff, I always just, I look at DPS rankings. I never look at how the tanks or the healers are doing. So yeah, rogue tanking seemed interesting. Obviously warlock tanking seemed super cool, but I just don't know if I want to tank. I should tank because this game seems to have a remarkable lack of tanks. For all of the ways that you can tank in SOD, there's often no tanks available for content. I don't know if that gets different as you get to max level. Maybe all the tanks are at max level doing max level stuff. But while trying to do like any kind of leveling dungeons, like tanks do not do leveling dungeons in this game. Healers do leveling dungeons, DPS do leveling dungeons, but tanks do not. So maybe we should tank. Maybe we should tank. But I don't think so. I don't think so, though. I think what we're going to do is we're going to deal DPS. Yeah. If we do any kind of raids, it's going to be on this character, but we are definitely going to level other SOD classes. Do we want to go after Zanzil's Mixture? Not really, because I'd really like to have the quest to go after the named guys, and I'm not sure where the quest to go after the named guys is at. So I don't really want to do this one until we have that other quest. go turn these in. Yeah, that's what happens to me when I tank too. When I do any kind of 5-man content in this game, it's hard anymore to even loot. People move so fast, just in general. If you're the tank, there's an expectation that like you're gonna set a fast pace. I always feel like I'm just like running behind people. On melee DPS, what I do is I purposely run ahead of the tank. That's kind of how I've gotten around being left behind and like all that. Is like I will purposely, as a melee, I will run out ahead of the tank, and then I will like just kind of get ahead of them and wait a little bit as they approach. And I just try to make sure that I don't get left behind. It's part of the reasons why like I don't want to heal in this game anymore either, because like I don't want to be the healer. As the healer, I'm gonna get left behind. People are gonna die, so I'm better off just being a DPS.
Hello. See you later.
That way, if I miss the first couple seconds of the pull, it's not going to be a big deal. Alright, I have to find this quest. Even if it means taking every single quest in this entire town, I have to find the quest for those name guys. So I'm just going to go take every quest that I haven't taken yet. We're also going to buy some more food here, I think.
I got one too.
Because our food is getting low. Got so much crap to vendor. Lots and lots of crap. Okay. Alright, so are there any more quests to pick up in the inn? Don't think so. Here we go. I'm gonna grab this. Like, we're just I have to grab everything because I can't seem to locate the one quest I'm looking for. And the only way I'm gonna do this is if I can clear everything off the map, apparently.
Can I help you? Have a good one.
Oh, this guy. Here it is. Yeah, okay, we had a prereq to get done. This is the guy I was trying to find. Voodoo Dues. Okay, now we're good to go. Now we are good. Oh, we got fiery. Oh, no, we got agility. We got plus 25 agility on this weapon, actually. For some reason I think it's the paladin that must have fiery weapon. And we dinged. Yes, we did ding. Let's go ahead and put another point into efficiency for as much as that's helping us. And I guess we're gonna go try to do Zanzil's Secret and Voodoo Dues. I didn't turn this in. Where does this go? Oh, this goes to Theramore. Okay. We're gonna be heading to Theramore anyway, so that's good. This goes all the way back to the Rebel Camp. Okay, I didn't realize we had a quest to turn in up at the Rebel Camp still. That's good to know now. Yeah, I got this weapon thanks to streamer privilege. I didn't work for it in any way, it was given to me. It was Mitosh. Mitosh gave me this sword. We're gonna go up to the northern place first, and after that, then we'll go out to the beach. It's the order I like to do this one in. We have a level 43 human paladin already working here. What are the odds I can tag this guy? What are the odds? If I tag this guy, like, who's gonna come with him? Okay, we got a couple of people. That's not bad. That's actually pretty good. I'll take it. I did work for it. I'm providing content. That's fair. Yeah, that's fair. I don't see it as work, but you're not wrong. You're not wrong. I did do something. I showed up. Yeah, see, if I want to use that as an interrupt, I gotta get that out a little bit faster. It will interrupt the spell casting, but you have a very small window, and if they start casting while your global cooldown is going, then it's really hard to get that trap out before the cast finishes. I've even seen it where it tells me I interrupted them, but I see the damage that the cast has actually gone off. It's really hard to get the trap out fast enough to be a good interrupt, you know? You have to be sitting and waiting for it. You can't be pushing abilities when they start casting. You have to be waiting for the cast. Like, we're not going to get that one. Maybe we get the next one. Nope, we're not going to get this one either. Yeah, see, it said it interrupted him, but I'm pretty sure we still got hit with it. It doesn't quite go off in time. Is Melee Hunter decent versus more than one? You have a couple of things you can do for AoE, but I don't have them. We have Explosive Trap, and then if you want to do real AoE, you probably have to go into Cleave. Which I think was on the hands? Yeah, Carve. Carve is your AoE, but Cobra Slayer is a lot better, so I've been sticking to single target. But you could do more AoE. If you do Carve and then you're dropping Explosive Traps, then you're doing pretty decent AoE. We're just not built for it. Yeah, it's probably, if you're gonna lay a trap, it's probably worth it to put down the Immolation Trap, as opposed to trying to interrupt with the Frost Trap, honestly. This is gonna be potentially tough. Maybe I can drag them out, kill one of them, and feign death. Yeah, I think a feign death is gonna have to happen here for this to work. I'd like to kill the Witch Doctor. At least kill the Witch Doctor. Maybe we can even kill the actual guy and loot him, and then we can feign death outside of this place. Let's drag them out here a little bit. Maybe I can just kill this guy. You know what? I take it back. Maybe we're fine just to kill this guy. I think we got it. Perfect. I don't think I have any potions on me, do I? No, yeah, see, that's the bummer, is like... I have one potion. Okay, let me pull that out. We really need to get, like, a pile of potions. A pile of potions would be better than one potion. Alright, let's head down to the beach. We have one more named guy we have to go after down there, and there should be some more mobs. Unless someone's down there farming them out. Yeah, alchemy would have been nice. I worry that it would have been the same with mining, but like eventually I would have moved out of the areas where I can successfully herb. Keeping up with professions has been a little bit challenging for me in SOD. We level fast enough that it's hard to keep up with most things. We'll try alchemy on a character though and see if herbalism alchemy is something we can keep going while we level. With blacksmithing and mining, like I couldn't do it. But then again, I usually fall behind on mining even when we're playing regular vanilla era when it takes like 300 hours to level. I still often fall behind on mining, so it should have been pretty obvious to me from the get-go that mining was not going to be something I was going to have a lot of success at long term in a version of the game where you level up so fast. Skinning, like we've been capped out on skinning. Skinning is really easy to keep going, and like maybe herbalism will be a little bit easier than mining. Because yeah, I feel like having potions while you level up is still really powerful in SOD. It still feels really worth it to have like good elixirs. Potions, stuff like that. Everything down here is currently dead. That's fun. Okay, what do we got here? Okay, we got Zanzil. We don't really want to fight Zanzil. You know, he's level 46, and that's bad. We got a hunter attacking us for some reason. I guess we should pull him out. I think we're doing a druid next on the streams. I think the druid will be the next one that we level up on the streams. And then I think if I do another SOD recorded series, I think I'll do a priest. There we go. When you don't have potions, you just rely shamelessly on feigned death. That is one way to go. Really looking forward to hitting level 45 so we can actually have food that fills our health bar up, because this food is not cutting it. Not cutting it. This fills up 1300 over 30 seconds. We have 2700 HP almost. So yeah, the level 35 food, kind of over it. Karen, have a good rest of your night. We will see you next time. What was the neutral mob behind me? That was some kind of SOD thing. It must have been for a rune quest or something like that. It was a SOD edition. I think outside of a specific class's rune acquisition, I think it was probably pointless. There's all kinds of stuff like that now, like sprinkled throughout SOD, that used to be a way that a class would get a rune. That now that you get all your runes at level 1, all this stuff is in the game and it doesn't need to be. It's kind of weird, actually, when you think about it like that. It's almost like the discoveries should have been some kind of evergreen feature and not a way for you to get your class abilities. It's almost like you should have just got new class abilities as you leveled up, and then the discoveries could have been stuff that was always relevant, like treasure and loot and gold. Because then you would see stuff like this and you'd be like, oh cool, a new thing. Let me go after that thing and get some loot or gold or treasure. But now it's like, okay, this is a lost soul. It was probably for like a warlock's rune or something. I don't know. And now nobody cares, and no one's ever gonna have to care. Yeah, the new abilities, like having the ability to play a version of Classic where there's class changes is awesome. The only thing that was ever wrong with SOD for me was the way we got those abilities. I think that classes and the abilities should be designed. So I think that you should get things at certain levels, because getting abilities at certain levels is part of actual class design. You design a class to be leveled up, and you say, okay, we want it to have these tools at these levels. So I would have been much happier with a version of SOD where we just learned the new abilities the normal way. Or not, yeah, like, you know, like got access to them in the normal leveling path, not having to like go out and find them all, not having to follow guides on Wowhead to like figure out where all your abilities were at. That would have been the ideal way for me. And then discoveries should have been other stuff. Discoveries should have just been like additional loot and gold and fun stuff to do out in the world. Stuff that could have stayed evergreen even as runes and rune acquisition changed over time. I like it now where you just buy them all from the vendor, but obviously like buying them all from the vendor for some players could be really overwhelming. You know, you start off as level 1 and you buy a bunch of abilities from different eras of the game, and then you kind of sit there and you're like, okay. And if you're somebody who's fine reading through all this stuff, then it works. You know, you just read them and you pick the one you like, and then you go to the next one and you read them and you pick the one you like. But getting them all at level 1, like, I can see how that would overwhelm a lot of people. If they're not, especially if they're not familiar with these classes at all. Like if it's a class you're just totally not familiar with, I can see how it would be a challenge to pick it up. Having more talent points would be really great, yeah. That would be really cool. We keep pulling Zanzil. This is like the 7th time I pulled Zanzil. Maybe grinding in this area is not a great idea now that I got the named guy. Now that I have the named guy, maybe we should go back to the other area. Somehow, I leashed Zanzil, but I'm still aggroing his little minions. Well, that's not good. There we go. Let's go ahead and just reset all these guys. Maybe they'll all disappear. It looks like they're all just going to disappear. Okay, perfect. Yeah, they were probably full HP minions, weren't they? You'd expect they'd be little, like, just crap mobs, but there are no real crap mobs in Classic Era, so they were probably full on minions with full health bars. For sure. What's a class fantasy I like that wasn't included in Classic or SOD that's still something I'd want to see? Some kind of melee priest. A priest with a mace. I want to see a priest with a mace, some kind of like melee build. So like basically instead of wanding, you know how on the priest you power word shield and then you wand? I want to see a priest that can melee instead. With either a one-handed sword or a one-handed mace. And then I want them to wear leather armor. I want them to upgrade into leather armor. Maybe even chain. I would say maybe we even let the priest go like kind of like a shaman. Maybe we let them wear all the way up to chainmail. And they can equip a one-hander. With a shield, I hesitate on the shield. Because then that very much does make them kind of like a pally. I think this, they need something, but I don't know if a shield is the way to go. I hesitate on the shield. It seems natural, but I hesitate. Maybe a different kind of offhand item. I don't know. Yeah, and they would be a cleric, right? Like a battle cleric. That would be something cool, although that's obviously like something like hard to do. I want to see a classic take on the monk. I don't know why we haven't got this yet, if we're ever going to get it, but especially in a Season of Discovery type of situation, I want to see a classic monk. I would like to see a classic monk, a classic death knight, and a classic demon hunter. I would like to see redone like classic versions of those newer classes, especially the monk, especially the death knight. The demon hunter, I could take it or leave it, because it wouldn't be able to have all that movement, but like I feel like making classic versions of the monk and death knight like should definitely happen at some point. The game needs a monk, and it doesn't have to be a panda monk. And in classic era, it wouldn't be a panda monk. I like the panda monks, but I think it puts a lot of people off. So like, yeah, we need a monk and we need a death knight. Other than that, I think everything else has been pretty well captured. What else could I want as far as like class fantasy? I have to think about it, but I think those are the major ones. Yeah, the Evoker put you off because you didn't want to play a lizard. Yeah. Yeah, I'm still waiting for them to open up Evoker to other races, but they haven't done it. The Evoker problem is an easy fix. You know, they should be able to do all of their abilities from their Visage form. Because I like the Visage forms. The Visage forms are really cool. When you turn that toggle on to stay in Visage form, you should fight in that form too. Like, they should stop switching you out to Dragon form. The class was one of the funnest classes I've ever played, was the Evoker. In Season 4. I think it was Season 4 of Dragonflight that I was doing the Evoker. That was like one of the funnest times I've ever had pushing buttons in the game. So like, yeah, great class. Terrible way to lock it into a race. Terrible way to lock it into a race. Definitely, it's definitely a class that I think a lot more people would play if it were opened up to other races. From what I understand it, you can stay in your Visage form as long as you're not in combat. And then when you go into combat, you turn into the dragon, and then when you leave combat, you go back to your Visage forms. And that's a half measure. Like, I have that turned on where, like, when I go into battle, I become a dragon. When I get out of battle, it goes back to Visage form. So that's okay. But it's a half measure. I don't want to be a dragon at any point in time. Demon Hunter got locked into elves. And the good thing about Demon Hunter was you could be a blood elf, or you could be a night elf. And the other good thing about that is that like a lot more people like elves and are okay playing elves, and like a lot less people are okay playing lizards. It's like if you're gonna lock a class into a race, it has to be a race that lots of people will actually play. Not a race that some people are gonna have their fundamental issues with. You know what I mean? Like, dragons are a very, like, specific thing to be. Whereas elves are elves. You got two different flavors of elves. They're basically humanoids. They wear their gear. You get to see the gear, so that's good. You see, I tested this the other day, Talon. Maybe I, because I logged into retail the other day and I jumped on a couple of my characters and I jumped on my evoker and I didn't see an option to stay in visage form all the time. One of the first things I did was I went into my visage form, I cast the breath attack, and I immediately became a dragon. That was like the only testing I did. I logged in, I pressed my breath attack, it converted me from visage form to dragon automatically. Even though I had it clicked so that I stayed in my visage form. So I don't know. Maybe that's just something that's not working properly. Yeah, no visible gear is a deal breaker for you. Yes, exactly. No visible gear is bad. I like to see the gear that I get. I like to do my transmog. And I like to see what gear looks like. And so typically anything that gets rid of the gear is a no-go. Man, I'm feeling weak out here against these guys, just like super weak. We gotta get two more mixtures. I can get out of here. These guys are just wailing on us. Oh God, don't remind me of the house chores that I undoubtedly have waiting for me. Now I'm thinking about my dishes. I know that they're there. I know there are dishes waiting for me. Now I can sense them. There we go. That is 12 out of 12. Do we want to try Tethys one more time? Maybe we could try him. We've gained at least 1, maybe 2 levels since we couldn't kill him. So maybe we go try one more time. We're kind of nearby. I mean, we're not really nearby, but we're close enough. Yeah, let's go try to get him one more time. Because besides that, we can also maybe check on the Elder Crocolisk. This one is also an elite. Usually we find him up by the Basilisk. So yeah, let's try to get these 2 done, because we're kind of done here. I have this quest to turn in up at the Rebel camp, and then we have some stuff that we can't quite do yet. We can maybe go after the captains of the ships, although that can be a messy one. There's a way to just to go behind. Let's see if we can just go behind the arena, because he has a spawn point back behind the arena too. Well, I don't see him. But I don't see a body either. So if he is dead, then he must be on the verge of respawning pretty soon. Yeah, we've checked in all of his spawn points. Alright, we can fight a little bit down here and see if we can get him to come out. And our inventory's full. This is getting really, really bad. I need bigger bags. They said they were putting out bigger bags for Phase 8. I wonder if I can somehow get some of those new bags. They're probably going to cost like 7,000 gold. Ugh. There he is. Alright, I guess I just have to make sure that we're going to be at full health and mana for this. It's really all we can do to give ourselves an edge. I could eat some buff food. I might have to clear this area, unfortunately. Let's try to eat this buff food before we go in on him. But yeah, we got 0 potions, so... unless we get really lucky with crits and stuff, I don't know if this is going to happen. Okay, failed attempt number 2 at skinning him. Okay, we're just failing. We killed him, but we can't skin him. Of all the things to fail at, you know. Alright, let's try to head up the coast here if we can. We're gonna cross over. We're gonna be like pretty close to Grom Gul, but we have to check that first spawn point. It's probably where he's gonna be at. Doesn't feel incredibly safe. I don't think they have any guards out front, though. At least I hope they don't. Looks like we're okay. Alright, level 38 elite. If we were able to take on Tethys, this should be no problem. There we go. Inventory is full. Okay, great. So let's head up to the hunting lodge. I think they're going to give us one more quest to go after that white tiger King Bangladesh. We might be able to kill him. He spawns 2 cats with him, though. So the cats could be a problem.
Well met. Keep your feet on the ground. See you soon.
That was a big chunk of XP. Alright, King Bangladesh is to the south. Let's go to the rebel camp first and turn this one in. That way we don't have to head back up here. Well, I guess we're gonna have to head back up here eventually anyway. But sure, let's go turn this one in first.
What can I do for you? See you around. See you later.
What's after Stranglethorn? I think we're gonna have to head over to Kalimdor and do stuff over in Tannerus. I think Tannerus, Feralus are gonna be the next places we need to go. And then yeah, we'll eventually have stuff in Hinterlands, but Hinterlands is more like level 46, 7, and 8. We should have a bunch of stuff to do in Tannerus, like right about now. Yeah, Tawin, that's still how it works. A bunch of them still switch you into dragon form. Yeah. And like a lot of it is like if you're in combat, if you are actually in combat and not just pressing the abilities, it'll shift you back into your Visage form automatically once combat ends. But if you press like your breath attack out of combat, you have to manually put yourself back into Visage form. That's how I found it to still work. Okay. We need monkey stance. This guy's gonna drop ads. I wonder... Can I... Yeah, let's do that, and maybe I can get one of the ads into the trap. Yeah, let's try to get... That did not... that did not work like I wanted it to, guys. Did not work. Let's focus on trying to kill him. We'll loot him really fast, then we can always feign death. There's the second ad. Third ad! Third ad! A third ad! Guys, I wasn't ready for third ad. I wasn't ready for third ad. Oh no! Shit! We'll have to come back some other time and do it. Yeah, I don't think we're doing that right now. Oh, like two ads we would have been fine with. The third ad was the nail in the coffin. If I had had a single potion, just any potion of any quality of potion, any size of potion, we would have been fine. Yeah, I don't have any pots right now. I have to get some for next time. This shit's expensive. It's not a buyer's economy here in SOD. It's definitely a seller's economy, so everything you could think that you need, everything you could think that you want, if you want it off the auction house, it's really expensive. So it's like, I have some gold, but if I just want to go buy pots, I'm gonna blow a lot of money just buying pots. So that's kind of a bummer. But apparently I have to have something, because we get into too many situations where we're gonna die without a potion. And obviously it's inconvenient, so... I will try to get some, but it's okay, guys. I'm out of time for today. I'm a little bit past out of time. I got some plans later. We're going to see the Minecraft movie with my kid. So I do have to be going. I appreciate you guys being here and hanging out with me today. I am still having a lot of fun on the Hunter, and I will be back tomorrow. So tomorrow, I think we'll just probably cut our losses. I'll get everything turned in Booty Bay. I will actually put myself on a flight there now so that I remember to do this. But yeah, I will get everything turned in Booty Bay, and then we're gonna head over to Kalimdor. I think I want to start off the day by checking out the Ashenvale incursion. We'll just run the incursion one time. That should get us a couple levels, so we can go into Tannerus at level 45, and I think that would work out perfectly. So yeah, that's the plan. Thank you guys again for being here. Hope you have a good rest of your afternoon or evening time. Take care of yourselves, take care of each other, and we will see you back here again very soon. Bye for now.